Hi. So hello again, everybody. Thanks for being here. It has been a great panel session so far. We're a little bit late. We are sorry for that, but we hope we can make it up for you with this talk. We have Alix here, entrepreneur, speaker, and business coach. So how are you, Alix? We met last time at Tech Jobs Fair in Netherlands. It's good to see you again.
Yes, thanks for having me again. I'm really happy to be here and excited for this session. Yes.
Thank you. So Alix is passionate about and committed to empowering leaders around the world to thrive on their full business potential and leverage it to create their most fulfilling lives. And she's here today to talk about the topic, embracing your most expansive business path, right? So I think the stage is yours now. I'm going to leave you to, just talk on this topic, and we'll be here watching.
See
you later.
Thank you. Great. It's great to be here. I have prepared a session today, 30 minutes, talking about different main themes that I always tackle in my talks regarding professional upgrades and business coaching. So I will say a little bit about me, my background, what I do, my business, and then I have prepared just key elements that I normally recommend to work on to embrace and create your most expansive business path for yourself that is almost like tailor-made, very aligned with yourself. So I'll break down a few elements. Feel free to take notes if you want to. At the end, what I've prepared is one of my online courses. I decided to give you free access. So I've prepared a code that I will be sharing at the end of these 30 minutes where you can access it's about 20 hours of video content that is normally 200 euros for free with my link. So if you're interested, you can explore more about embracing your most expansive business path. So a little bit about me. For now, I run a business coaching company. I've been doing this for the past 4 years. I have a beautiful team all around Europe. It's all a fully remote team. Through my company, I have created and led dozens of live group transformative programs. I have led leadership retreats around Europe for all of my clients. I have a client community of over 400 clients all around the world. In all the different continents, and I do a lot of online trainings, transformative online trainings, online courses, live programs, but also offline. I've done over 50 talks all over the world. I built my coaching business for the first 2 years as a digital nomad, traveling the world in every single continent, and building my coaching business online as I was traveling as a digital nomad. And afterwards I decided to set a base and streamline everything as it was working really well, and build a team around it, etc. So that's a little bit of a summary of my current situation. Before this, I worked for the United Nations. For a while, I developed training to economically empower women in developing countries through entrepreneurship. So I did that project with the UN. It was incredible. I also worked for a startup accelerator. And I also work for different universities around Europe. So I have a background in business, entrepreneurship. I love to really, connect to see people. And I also have a background in personal development, mindset, career coaching, professional coaching, business coaching, all of that. So I'm really, really passionate about every single person fully aligning to the most expansive, fitting business professional path. And I do this through my programs with my clients, etc. And of course, I do the work on myself as a first step. Always, I'm always investing in myself, always learning, always acquiring new skills, and always aligning to my next level of growth. So I always start with me, and I love to have people start with themselves as well first, to start the work on themselves first. And then, from that inner knowledge that you gather, really from there, start creating the most aligned business professional path for yourself. So that's what I work on in my programs, and what I want to talk about today, based on the key pillars that I use for my clients, so they have the tools to align themselves to their most expansive, exciting, energizing professional business path for themselves. As I mentioned, I like to start from within. So for me, it all starts from you, from when you invest in yourself, you get to know yourself, your unique combination of superpowers, I call it, your unique skill sets. And then from then onwards, looking outwards and starting to create your best professional business path, step by step. So that's a little bit about, my background, what I want to talk about today. What I'm going to do is break down. I have 3 pillars that I always work with any client, whether they are entrepreneurs or corporate, or it doesn't matter what background they have, but they come to me because they want to have more fulfillment in their professional business lives. And I work with 3 pillars that I'm going to break down today. And afterwards, I will just add a few extra tips that I love to work with my clients. Just so you have an idea, I have different client profiles. So I have, again, all over the world, in the US, in Latin America, Central America, in Canada, in Singapore, in Dubai. Most of my clients, I have to say, are in Europe, Northern Europe, Central Europe, and Northern Europe. But yeah, it's just like a variety. So some clients have a corporate background, so they work, they're leaders in corporations, in big companies, and they want to work on themselves. Some of my clients are entrepreneurs or serial entrepreneurs, so they are running one or several companies and teams. And a third group of clients are people that come to me because they want to start or grow. It's early stages of their dream business, right? So they have an idea of like a business that they want to create, whether it's product-based or service-based, and they have this in mind, and they come to me because they just want to develop it in the smartest way. And I come in with my coaching, my tools, and we develop that in the smartest, leanest way that works from the beginning. For me, just one thing that, to mention about my path, the coaching business that I have right now is the 7th business that I start. I started 6 other businesses before and built teams around them. I just love to really go from idea to execution. And I'm just very kind of action oriented in the coaching that I do, whether it's for corporate people or entrepreneurs, etc. So I'm going to dive into the 3 pillars that I work with. Regardless of the profile of the clients that I work with, I always work with 3 pillars. The first pillar is the pillar that I call state. Second pillar is strategy, and third pillar is action. Okay, and I work with them in that order: first state, second strategy, and third action, no matter the profile of the client. So the first pillar is state. State, what I call state, is energetic state, mental state, psychological state, physical state. How you show up, how people perceive you, how they feel you, your state, your energetic, mental, everything state. Okay, that's the first pillar that I work with, regardless of the background of the person that comes to work with me. We work on the narratives, the stories that you're telling yourself, the mindset that you have, the reactions, that you have to things, the triggers that you have, your energy levels, your productivity, all of that. So all of that falls into the first pillar. Why do I tackle that first? Because it has a ripple effect. So when we raise your state first, so you feel like, my goal with every client is always that they feel high on life, that they feel pumped, like they feel the best version of themselves energetically, right? So depending on the person, there's different tools that I recommend to work with. But that's, as a general guideline, no matter the profile, something that I recommend to prioritize no matter what, your energetic state. It has a ripple effect. So the second pillar is strategy. From a pumped, high on life state, you come up with higher energy strategies for your life, business, professional life, it doesn't matter, right? So that's why it's so important to raise your state, to pump your state first, to be the best high functioning or pumped or productive or creative version of you, so that you can come up with higher quality strategies for your life. Those strategies in the pillar strategy, what I do is, what I recommend is to always, in terms of like goal setting, whether it's personal, professional life, to decide on ideal outcomes that you want to reach in the next 6 months, to be very concrete, not in 10 years, but in the next 6 months or 1 year, and then reverse engineer from those ideal outcomes, best case scenario, reverse engineer into high energy milestones that you want to reach along the way. So that's something that, relatively simple, but not that straightforward to follow, basically, that I use for myself as well. So that's a second pillar: strategy. You reverse engineer from there into milestones. And then you move to the third pillar, which is action. And in the third pillar, action, I talk about high impact moves. So I differentiate between high impact moves and low impact moves. Low impact moves is all the noise that comes into our life, that it doesn't have a high impact towards our dream wanted outcomes. So we define in the second pillar in strategy ideal wanted outcomes that we want to create. And in the third pillar, action, we think of high impact moves. So what I always work with my clients is tools that allow us to really define the highest impact actions you can take to reach a certain dream outcome. Let's say that in 6 months, you want to have your dream business creating, 2,000 euros of passive income, right, per month. So that's a dream wanted outcome 6 months from now, right? And so, what I will do then is like reverse engineer. What I recommend to do is that you reverse engineer from there, and that you say, okay, what are the highest impact moves that I can take to get there? And so many of my clients, what they will do is be like, oh, just like, let me learn a little bit more about it. Let me like find a book that tells me about this. Let me just gather some more knowledge or expertise about a certain topic before I actually take action. And these are all examples of low impact moves, because low impact moves delay your dream wanted outcome, in this case, in your professional life. Okay. So a high impact move would be, well, create the product that will, or the service that will create those 2,000 euros of passive income, for example, right? Or if you want to find, the next amazing job for yourself that really fits you, that really fulfills you, instead of sending 20 CVs, everywhere, that might be like a low impact move, depending. Higher impact move might be to secure a chat, an informal chat with with somebody in a high position that can actually, connect you to the right person for the job, right? Low impact move versus high impact move. So I always highlight the importance and usefulness of prioritizing high impact moves, actually in any area of life that you want to develop and grow. Here we're talking specifically about our the professional area of life. So always prioritizing high impact moves, and high impact moves normally, have to do with people, because opportunity comes and growth comes through people. So whether it's having a coffee chat with somebody, or a call, or, booking a plane ticket to go at a specific event or seminar. So these are actions that put you in contact with the right people that then are likely to open opportunities for you. So that's the third pillar: action, high impact moves versus low impact moves. So these are the three pillars that I like to work with. State, your energetic state, no matter your professional situation, your strategy, dream wanted outcomes that you reverse engineer into high energy milestones, and the action pillar that prioritizes high impact moves over low impact moves. So 3 pillars, and I always recommend to work on them, even within a day, within 24 hours, to prioritize for state. So let's say you have your morning routines, you pump yourself, you get yourself into the best mental, energetic, physical state that you can get, so that through the day you come up with better strategies, decisions for your work, your professional life, and then you're able to better prioritize high impact moves through your day. Okay, so even within a day, you can prioritize those 3 pillars in that specific order. Okay, so state, strategy, action. Another thing that I like to share around this framework, I call it full potential framework, is that it has the ability to create upward spirals or downward spirals. So if somebody bypasses working on their state, they don't take responsibility for how they are feeling and showing up, and they are showing up to places in a low vibe, low energy state, they will create low energy strategies and take low energy actions, and that creates a low vibe spiral, because just spiraling, people meet you, they are not energized, they are not inspired. You're not inspired by yourself. It's just a downward spiral that you're creating actually for yourself. But you can choose and take responsibility and create upward spirals instead by taking responsibility for your state on a daily basis, taking care of your mindset, energetic state, physical state, all of that, and then being able to create an upward spiral by working with higher energy strategies and higher impact actions, if that makes sense. So that was the full potential framework, the 3 pillars that I like to work with, that I apply to my own life as well, that I have learned, in the past years as well through different tools, and that I have created to boost your self-leadership, basically. So the course that I want to share with you at the end of this short talk dives deeper into these 3 pillars. Okay, so I really there's several videos for each pillar where I really break down in this course how to rewire the narratives, the stories that are going on in your head, how to put yourself. There's even guided exercises that you can do through the course where you can really get yourself into the best state, techniques to come up with the best strategies for your life, or any area of life, professional and personal. And also several videos regarding action, high impact moves, but also there's videos around productivity, to get yourself into the best flow based on your specific profile. It's not the same for everyone. So all of those things, there's a lot that goes within each pillar, and I cover all of that in the course. So if you want the link, you have free access basically to it. What else did I want to share? So in general, a point that I do want to highlight that I mentioned at the beginning as well, when it comes to creating your most fulfilling, expansive, exciting professional business life, I always recommend to start from within, from you getting to know yourself, investing in yourself, learning about your own mechanisms, your own patterns, your own superpowers, your own skills, because with that knowledge, you're way more empowered to then consciously create your best, most fulfilling, expansive professional business life. And this is how it has been in my path as well, right? So at some point I was working in the startup scene in the Netherlands for a while, and I was getting frustrated, and I didn't know exactly what was off. I read so many things online. I was trying to figure out my own situation by myself, but I could only get so far by myself. And so at some point what I did is I found a business coach, because I was like, okay, I've never done this before, but I think I need more help, because I really know that I can create a better professional life for myself, and this is not it. I just don't know how to go about it. And I was feeling quite desperate, and so I just looked online for business coaches. I had, I think, 3 goals, and I chose one of those business coaches, and that changed my life. So I started learning about myself, my own triggers, my own patterns, etc. I quit my job 1 month later. I started 2 companies the month afterwards. The 2 companies combined had me tripled my net income from my previous job on the first month I was not receiving the salary. First month, tripled the net income. And then I also started traveling the world and growing my team in the 2 companies, etc., learning more and more about myself, my bigger vision, what I wanted to create, and how to bridge the gap between my bigger long-term vision and the present moment by making high impact moves, okay? Powerful moves. So I started, finding more mentors and going to retreats and hiring people for my businesses and so on. But these are all examples of high impact moves that allowed me, with the knowledge that I had about myself, that allowed me to create step by step a reality that is way more aligned with what I want to be doing. So now, I have my own schedule. I can arrange my schedule however I want. Everything is remote. I can work from anywhere. My team is also remote, so they can be anywhere. So there's all the flexibility. I'm creating the impact that I want to create, etc. So, and to me, it feels it's only the beginning as well. So, it's just but I really believe that it starts from within. So linked to this, one more element that I do want to highlight is the importance of learning to connect to your bigger vision. So this is really, really important, because you can work on your state and current present situation, right? Your energetic mental level, your productivity. But it's really important in order to take the right the most powerful high impact moves, the most powerful action, it's really important and helpful to be as clear as possible about your bigger long-term vision. So this is something, once again, there's more, in the course that I share at the end of this session, more tools to access that. There's a lot of tools for you to get crystal clear, best case scenario at the end of your life or at the end of your career or in a few years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what is the best case scenario? And it's really funny because people use these tools and every single person with this tool accesses a very specific vision that nobody else has, And I always think like, okay, where does this vision come from, right? It must come from somewhere. So there's ways to access that best case scenario for yourself and to get really like clear and connected with it and learning to tap into that for decision making on a weekly, monthly basis for your best self-leadership. So what I like to do is like connecting to your bigger vision, getting really clear on that. And then when it comes to making high impact moves on a weekly, monthly basis, you just check in with your bigger vision. And then you ask yourself, would this ideal version of me in the future, would this person support this decision or that decision, right? What kind of move is more effectively leading me to my ideal vision, right, in the future? And this is so powerful because like that, you can really make powerful, high impact moves that are aligned with where you're meant to be and when you're meant to go. And that also allows you to remove looking around too much at what other people are doing and comparison and so on, because my personal philosophy is that every person has a unique path that they are meant to embrace. And the way to do that is to learn to connect, to tune into it, right? To really tune into your bigger vision, your own superpowers, and bridge the gap between the two and build like that step by step the best business professional life that you're meant to live, basically. So that's another concept that I wanted to share, the importance of the bigger vision. I do want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A. And I also want to share access to the course. So I don't know if Rita, you still, because I'm looking like it's almost 50, if you want to jump in and ask and lead the Q&A. And in the meantime, I can also share the link to the course somewhere in the chat, so you can, you can access it. Yes.
Yeah, great. Hi, Alix. Hello again. So thank you for that. I think we can get something from our audience. Just let me check here. Oh, this is the link you pasted. So yes. How is this? Yeah.
Basically with the discount code. So this is like, I created a code just for this today, Tech Jobs Friends. You go to the link. It's only valid now, today, this evening, basically. So you just log in. You can do it now, and you go to the page, and it says get access now. So you click there, you put the code, and you basically check out without paying anything, and you have instant access to all the videos. The course that dives into these 3 pillars: stage, action, more in detail, and that's
And how does that work? Is it something that people can, just follow at their own pace? How long would it last? Could you maybe describe it a little bit? How does that work?
Sure. It's designed as a 4-week program.
Okay.
So, there's several modules separated in 4 weeks. So basically every week you have like X amount of videos. In theory, you can go at your own pace, of course. You can just, do the exercises as you want. You can come back to it, etc. But to guide you, a good rhythm is 4 weeks, and then you have a strong base. Also, you have an introduction into my philosophy, so you have a little bit of a sneak peek, basically, into the tools that I work with.
I encourage people to ask questions. We still have a couple of minutes. I didn't see any coming yet, but I can ask you one from our side. So I like that part that you say, you had your difficult or tough time as well, and you decided to hire a business coach, to take that decision, and that can be a bit pricey sometimes. People maybe also hesitate because it's new and it's an investment. So from your own experience, what would you say are like the top three things that people should be looking for in a business coach? If this makes sense, like how to choose a person that maybe is the best fit to help you in your career path.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, for me, at least the first investment is always a bit scarier. So, but then you understand how it works. And for me now, I'm always investing in different coaches, mentors, because I see that it helps a lot. And normally, if it's the right person, they also give you it gives you the tools to have enough resources to continue investing and kind of, just increase your capacity to invest. So the first investment I remember, it was a coaching program one-on-one with a business coach that was around 6,000 euros. And I just had, a call with her, and I just knew. So I had calls with other people, but I was not convinced. They were not really like motivating me that much. And when I talked to her, I just knew in my gut, like her energy and everything, that she was going to like get me, maybe even like above the goals that I had in mind. Basically, I had that intuition somehow, and it really worked. So initially, I signed up for 6 months, but I continued to renew it for 2 years. So I worked with her 2 years one-on-one, and it changed my life completely, like completely. But I just connected to it, and I just knew that she was going to be very results. So in general, I do recommend to find coaches that are results focused, like results oriented. I like to work with coaches that are relatively no nonsense and that really are there to create, that are committed to your growth and to you results, basically. Because there's other coaches that are focused on other things like process and just reflection, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I really wanted transformation, and she was definitely the right person for that. And
Yeah.
so I saw, like, when you make your first investment and it works, then you see like, wow, like I quit my job, I started two businesses, my income tripled. Of course I had resources to continue investing in myself, and actually it has been increasing like that. The more I invested in myself, the more I developed tools and systems, and I grew, and I developed more resources to kind of like, I don't know, since then I have invested in health coaches and emotional intelligence coaches and mentors and other type of business coaches and so on, aside from other things. So it's just, for me, it's like finding the right coach is like going from point A to B, instead of by boat. It's like jet plane, because it's just faster, more efficient, and normally more exciting. So they just support you, they give you emotional support, they give you tools, they show you what you're not seeing by yourself, your blind spots, your patterns, all of that, and it just shortens the timeline, and it makes it also way more efficient and way more exciting, because now you're getting way better results. So that's how I look at it. And I always also think it's always a choice. Like, you can just see, like, it's not a must. I don't think that it's a must that everyone should find a coach or something.
Sure.
It's just really helpful if you can make it happen. It's just like, why wouldn't you do it? That's how I look at it.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. And coaching is a thing more now more than ever, right? And sometimes maybe there's actually too many options, and sometimes one is a little bit lost in the middle. Just as a wrap up, let me check if there's Alix, how long is the access code valid for? This is for today, right? Alix, you mentioned this already, right? Yeah. And the course, it's in English, right? Just to make sure. Yeah. We could maybe wrap up with just some one or two tips to build better resilience and discipline. What would you say here, if you could, in 1 minute? Please.
Resilience and discipline.
Yeah.
Oh, good one. I think that it's just, once again, it just, for me, it always comes back to getting to know yourself better and better self-leadership. So knowing, like in my programs, I go really deep into learning about your own circadian rhythm. Every person has different, like, peak performance hours, depending, it's genetic, different personalities, different personality profiles, different everything. So every person is like a unique combination of all kinds of different things. And the more you discover that, the more empowered you are to really just like basically align. So adapt your daily life to what fits you specifically, individually, you know. So I like to go really, really deep into it. There's so much that you can do, but for me, it always starts with like self-knowledge, basically, you know, learning into that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. This was another great talk. And I thank the people in our audience as well for being there. Just stick around. There's one more talk to come, and we're approaching the end of our event. So it's been a great one. I hope you enjoyed as well. Alix, thank you again, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Take care, everybody.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Thank you.